9 to 10, top of the ninth, 2 outs, and that is a hanging slider. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have episode 5 of our expansion franchise series with the Nashville Stars. Today we are going to be getting into the thick of it. We are going to be playing a few games trying to push for that wild card spot in the National League. You can see here we are only 4 games back off that spot, off the Braves, who are an in-division rival against us. So we should be making a push here when we have a few games against them the next couple weeks. But before that, we're going to get into the thick of it and look through our contract extensions and see who we want to keep for the next few years and see if we can get a deal on them going into the offseason. A lot of our practices this series is going to be based off kind of what the Atlanta Braves do in real life, where they sign a lot of their younger players who show prominence fairly early on in their career and don't wait until like the last 1 or 2 seasons before arbitration, because you're probably going to get a better deal in that scenario than you would if you waited until they were really good about to hit free agency, where they're going to make a ton of money. So we're going to be looking through these, combing through a couple of our players who we want to keep around for the long term and seeing if they're going to take a little bit of a hometown discount so we can keep our cornerstones of the organization together and build an amazing team over these next few seasons. And jumping right into it, the obvious first choice for us to keep around is going to be Joey Cantillo. He's a 25-year-old lefty starting pitcher who's had an amazing season so far. He's actually pretty much outperforming his potential. His potential is a C, so anywhere between 70 and 79. Right now he sits at a 77 overall. His ERA this season is absolutely exceptional, below a 3.5. He has 94 strikeouts and 114 innings of work with only 39 walks. He's very good. All of his stuff is there. The only really thing that we don't have is a lot of velocity on his pitches, but he's been able to work around it. He's also got one quirk, which is a nighttime player, so he's going to perform better during night games. He's an absolute catch. We want to keep him around for a long term. He hasn't even hit a full year of service yet, and he looks like he's going to grow to be way better than his potential says. So right now we can offer him a 2-year, $1.6 million deal, but I kind of want to expand that in probably to a 6 or 7 year deal. So Joey Cantillo is going to want a $7 million per year deal if we offer him a 7-year contract. But if we offer him a 6-year contract, it drops down to $5.8 million a year. I think we're going to make that deal. We're going to offer him the 6-year deal. That'll get into his first year of free agency, and hopefully we'll be able to offer him an extension then, or if not, he may not be as good or may be starting to regress at that time. We may just send him on his way. But for now, we're going to settle with a 6-year deal for around that $5.8 million. We'll see how much he will take and see kind of where that perfect medium spot is. And we're going to settle on that $34 million. You're still going to get that green interest bar, which is kind of where you want to put him at. If it's yellow, he's probably not going to accept. But for right now, we're going to offer him $34 million for 6 years, and that will put him here until his 31-year-old season here. I think that's a really good deal. But he will go ahead and deny this first one, so we're going to have to offer him a little bit more money. I'm not sure what he will take. We're going to go ahead and bump that up to $6 million. We'll do $36 million for 6 years. And he's going to accept that for us. So that's our very first player out of the way here on a very good deal. And then the second player we're going to go after is Jonathan Loaizaga. We had a couple chances to trade him during this trade deadline this season, but we decided against it because he's been an absolute dog. For some reason, we actually left out his All-Star appearance last season, so we'll enter that here. He was able to go for a save during the All-Star game. He was our 2025 All-Star, the only one we got this season. So, of course, we want to keep around our very first All-Star here as a member of the Stars. But he looks amazing, man. He's actually progressing very well. He's a 75 overall, has increased from what I think was a 74 when we drafted him. His ERA this season is a 1.17 in 45 games of work with 36 saves. He is in the running for the Reliever of the Year award in the NL, and he's been an absolute dog for us. So I think it's only right that we offer him a contract. We're going to settle on the 3-year deal for $5 million per year. I think that's a good range for him. It's pretty cheap for a closer, but I mean, he's been very good. He's not going to blow you away with any stats, but he works for our organization. He's done very well for us. So we're going to keep him around for a few more seasons and see if he can keep delivering what he brought this season. And then our third and final player, I think right now, is going to be David Hamilton. He's a shortstop. He's probably going to be our shortstop of the future, or at least our shortstop of the next 3 to 4 seasons. He's very good. He's only 27 years old. He has 1 year of MLB service time. All of his stats are improving across the board, except for his speed, which is regressing, but only slightly. I mean, he's got +5 in contact versus lefty, +3 in contact versus righties, and looks to be very good. His overall is 76 overall. He is a C potential. Hopefully that'll improve here. His average and his stats this season aren't looking too high. A 269 average isn't great with the 430 slugging, but he does have that OPS above that 700 mark, which is league average. So he's a little bit of above a league average player which is very, very good. And he's also accounted for 2.4 WAR this season with about 45 games left. So we should see him be about a 3 to 3.5 WAR player, which is also very, very good. He also has the quirk being a daytime player, which is kind of opposite from Cantillo. So, you know, maybe they'll work out and kind of sit you there. But yeah, man, he's going to be a good player. I'm going to make him an offer for 4 years for $14 million. I think this is a sweet spot because if we're going to go for 5 years, his average is going to bump up to $5.3 million. So we're going to save like $1.5 million. So only offer him a 4-year deal instead of a 5-year deal. We're going to offer him $14 million, which is 3.5, which is a little bit below his asking point. Let's see if he accepts it. He does not. So we're going to bump it up. Let's see if 14.5 will do. One more try. Let's see if we can get 15. And he's going to accept that one. So for $15 million, we will bring back Hamilton for another 4 seasons. I think that's really good. But to get into the rest of these guys, some of the rest of these guys will probably be signed at some point, like Edward Cabrera. I just kind of want to see what he's going to pan out to be. He has B potential, which is very, very good. He was one of our cornerstone players when we were doing our expansion draft, and I really want to keep him around. He's only 26 years old, but he's had major issues with keeping his ERA down through his first handful of games. Through his first 9 starts, he had an 8.24 ERA. He has dropped that a little bit here after being brought back up the last 3 games. He's had a 1.8 and a 1.5 in back-to-back games and about 11 innings of work. The first game we showcased him when we were using him, he blew up to a 9 ERA. That probably was our fault. So, you know, I won't put too much pressure on him there. So he has improved after his stint in AAA. So I'm hopeful that gave him a little bit of confidence, but I still want to see a little bit more out of him before we're going to offer him a contract for the extension. I may offer him an 8-year, 9-year deal because I do think he is a cornerstone of our organization. And I think he could be our ace for a pretty long time, or until Patton gets to the MLB and might take his spot in a few years' time. But until then, I think Edward Cabrera is our man at the top of the rotation. Or then you have prospects like River Ryan, another good player. He has been brought up to the MLB this season, so we have a few more seasons with him. We have at least 6 years, including this year, before we have to make a decision. So we're going to wait around on him as well. He's very promising for sure. A 74 overall already. His ERA kind of blew up once he moved him up, but he's kind of settled down recently. I mean, except for that last game against the Yankees and 2 innings of work, and then also the Brewers and everything else in between. So he hasn't really showed, so ignore what I just said. He hasn't really showed what I want out of him. He did have a 4-inning outing against the Royals where he didn't give any runs, but outside of that, he's been kind of hit or miss. He'll have a good game here and have a couple games bad. So it is what it is, but hopefully he can level out and kind of get his head straight and kind of figure it out. If not, he's going to be put back down to AAA for another season, and then we'll figure it out then. Hopefully he figures it out, and so we don't have to. But until then, he's going to kind of hang around. We're not going to offer him a contract this time around, maybe next season. But now that we kind of have our future kind of figured out somewhat, let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Let's go ahead and advance a couple weeks to around that September call-ups time and see if we are still pushing for a playoff spot and can make a stab at that wild card. And as we are advancing here, Jonathan Loaizaga will go down with an injury. It is only shoulder soreness, so he will be unavailable for a few days. We're going to keep him active, but hopefully this doesn't worsen. But we'll update you guys if it does. And as we advance through August here, we'll be able to get into some moments against the Braves as we try to steal a few games back here in the wild card and in the division. David Hamilton will be up to bat in a very close one here, 9-10, top of the 9th, 2 outs. And that is a hanging slider, and that is a deep shot, 112, no doubter for the young shortstop that we picked up from the Red Sox. And he will put us ahead late in this one, 459 feet, his 12th homer of the season. Wasn't it an absolutely electric hit? Oh my goodness. What a pitch to capitalize on. Iglesias hung that slider in the middle of the zone, and Hamilton is going to absolutely destroy it. I mean, again, 112 off the bat's absolutely crazy. He's not a big power hitter, but he took advantage of that one, and we'll get another look at it over the right field wall. 375 is the wall. He hit it 459, no doubt about it. 3-run shot. Will be up 12-10. But back here in the bottom of the 9th of the same game, we'll have a chance to come on and get the same with Brock Stewart as he strikes out Jerkson Profar, who just got banned for PEDs in real life, so that's pretty funny. Acuna's up to bat. He'll foul that off into foul territory. There's 2 on for Acuna, so he could win this game with a single swing of the bat. A slider down away. We'll get him on top of it, and that'll be to Hamilton 4-1 to Keith for 2. And that'll be a nice double play by Keith. But way to maintain his body control as he gets slid into and fell over himself. But that'll be a good first win to start the series off on the right foot. We're back up here for game 2 of the 4-game series as Drew Reeves will be on to bat. He's actually very good for this position. He has like 80-something clutch, 87 clutch, as he takes the first fastball for a strike. Strike number 1, bases loaded, top of the 6th here. And that is going to be a rope into left field. That'll get over the left fielder's head, and that will score 2, possibly 3. And it should score 3 as 97 speed will round third base, as Ruiz will be standing on second with the stand-up double to put us up 6-4 late in this one. But unfortunately, we won't be able to hang on, and we will lose 8-6 against the Braves as Aaron Bummer takes a loss here for us. But back here for game number 3 in Atlanta, another high-scoring affair, 9-9 game in the top of the 8th. Springer will be up to bat with 2 on, 1 in scoring position as he swings through that slider for strike number 1. 1 out here. Springer's been good all year with runners in scoring position, batting around that 389 mark, way above his average for just his day in and day out average. But he'll be good there with a good eye as taking that splitter down and away as he gets in on 1, but he'll be on the end of the bat, but the shortstop won't be able to make the play, and everybody will be safe. So that'll mean the bases are juiced here for Eggy Rosario as he takes a stand in the batter box against a new pitcher, Joe Jimenez. It'll be his first pitch out of the bullpen today as he throws it down the middle of the plate. That is going to be a nice hit into right field, and that will score 1 to put us on top as Rosario comes through in a massive way here late in this game. We've had some big moments so far. Let's see if we can keep it going. But after that nice hit by Rosario, DeLuca will fly out to center field, but that'll be a sac fly to score 1 as Blanco is in the box, and that will be a nice little blooper into right field as the infield is playing in, and that will score another run as Rosario advances to third base, putting us up 12-9, and we are running away with this one. But back here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Ozuna will be on to face Baker as he takes that one for a ride. 104 off the bat, but it will taper foul, thankfully, to keep the game 12-11. But Baker will bounce back with a nice 12-6 curveball in there on the inside of the zone. That catches the edge of the black for strike number 3 out. Number 2 as there's 2 on for Olsen as he takes one deep for a ride down to the right field wall, and that will be a 3-run go-ahead shot for the first baseman of the Braves as he puts them up 14-12. That will bring up George Springer in the top of the 9th with 2 on here, 0-2 count, and that is a perfect, and that has a lot on it, and it has enough to sneak over the center field wall, and that gives us a 3-run shot to take a 1-run lead here, his 20th of the season. And man, this has been a ping pong game back and forth in just 2 innings of play as the Stars will take a 15-14 lead late here in the 9th. And that will do it here in Atlanta as we steal another game off of late game heroics by another player, George Springer, another go-ahead homer here in the 9th inning. What a way to end this series 2-2 as we will go back on the road for another few games. We'll catch up in a moment as we spend the rest of August and get to September call-ups. And as we're progressing through here a couple weeks later, Ryan Feltner will sustain a head fracture in the game today, and he's going to be out for 6 months. An insane injury. I mean, that is something that would be insane to happen in real life. We're going to put him on the 60-day IL. He'll be gone for a lot longer than that. We won't see him until at least the early parts of next season. That's unfortunate. He's done well all season, and we're going to lose another bullpen arm for the rest of the season. So we're going to have to move somebody up. It's been a rough go of it. We may have to sign a free agent at this point, but hopefully we can keep it pushing until the end of the year. And we'll actually go ahead and pick up Joe Kelly, the 36-year-old. Doesn't look that great. He has regressed a little bit with being in free agency. With his four-seamer at 98 miles an hour and having that outlier on his sinker, he's going to be a real fastball thrower. High heat, high velocity, a lot of movement. Has been that way his whole career. He's on the back end of his career for sure, but I think we can probably use him to get us to the end of the season and just fill a roster spot for the foreseeable future. So we're going to go ahead and offer him a 1-year, $850,000 deal just so we can fill a spot. And while that might be steep for just a couple games, we do need the spot filled. And he should be a good player, even though his overall isn't that great. He'll probably be our worst overall pitcher in the bullpen. but I think he'll be able to be sufficient and strike out a bunch of guys and get us a couple innings of work here and there. And as we pull into the end of August, we are going to be on a big losing streak, losing 6 in a row to the Cardinals and then the Blue Jays after going on a pretty good 4-game win streak. We've kind of fallen apart here. We've had some injuries, but we need to pick it up now. And we're going to jump in and take on the Atlanta Braves. Chris Sale's on the bump versus Joey Cantillo. Ace versus Ace, a mano-y-mano. And we're going to see who can take this victory home. This might be a good turning point in the season if we can get a big win here. We have had some success, as you all just seen, against the Braves here and there. We split the series earlier in the month, but we need a big win here to set us off on the right foot going into the last month of the season before we can bring up some more players and make a push for that last wild card spot. But as we jump in this game, you all can see our averages here. Nobody really stands out except for David Hamilton at that 285 mark. He's been our best hitter so far. He's in the lineup because we are facing a lefty today, and he's a left-handed hitter. He doesn't face lefties very well, but we will be at home. The stands look pretty sparse right now. Hopefully they fill in before the game, as this is a massive game for us over the last couple. As we were just mentioning, David Hamilton's batting 387 over the last 17 games. Springer's brought his average up a little bit at 367 over the last 16. And we look to lose a 6-game losing streak here, and that is definitely the game storyline today. But the team is strong, and hopefully we can bring it back. We have one of the best closers in the league right now, so if we get a good lead here, we should be able to close it out against the Braves. And here is the man for us that will take the bump to start the game, Cantillo. He has a pretty good season so far, a 20% strikeout rate, which is on the lower end of the average for the MLB. But he will face Michael Harris II to start the game, and he will walk him right out of the gate. He's going to have to get that control under his belt to go the rest of the game, and Profar will get on top of it and strike it through the infield, and the Braves will have 2 on here with no outs in the first. And that is not what you want to see, as Ronald Acuna Jr. takes one deep to right field. But Springer will be able to get under that one, and they're going to send the runner to third. A good relay throw, but he will be safe at third, and a close play at that. And Ozuna will go through the infield for another single, the second hit of the inning, as the Braves go up 1-0 early on here on the road. Ozzy Albies 246 on the season. A great play by Bells. He tags first base and throws it over to Hamilton and get the second out. A double play to get out of the inning. But it won't get any easier, as we are facing Chris Sale, the 2024 Cy Young winner. And that is going to be a tough task to take him on all day long, as John Berti will be the first one to face him. And the slider gets the outside of the zone, the backdoor slider, for his first strikeout of the evening. Eggy Rosario will take one deep to left field, but he'll die at the warning track. Not far enough, 350 instead of 360 to get over the wall. And it's a 1-0 ball game to end the first inning. But Cantillo will bounce back with a nice strikeout on Matt Olson to get the second inning started off right, as Orlando Arcia comes through and rips one to Birdie at second base with a routine play to first. That'll be the end of the top of the second. But up here, Caratini will strike one through the infield for our first hit of the game. So no hitter today. But that'll do it for us in the first inning, as we weren't able to get anything going. As Arcia's back up, and he rips one through the infield. The fourth hit today for Cantillo. And there's another one for Harris, his second on base after the walk in the first inning. But Cantillo will settle down here and get a strikeout on Profar with a nice 92-mile-per-hour pitch. And that's kind of what we want to see out of him. He's not going to be the fastest flamethrower, but he's going to be able to try to put the ball wherever he wants in the strike zone. That is out number 2, and then out number 3 on a nice double play here to end the inning. Another double play to end the inning. The second of the day here for the Stars, as Blanco comes up and strikes out of that 95-mile-per-hour heater up and in. Sale with his 4th strikeout of the day. Bounces back with his 5th on Berti to end the third inning. And that is just not going to cut it out, as Cantillo doesn't want to be outmatched. Gets his 3rd on Harris there. Riley up to bat now, and he hits one through the infield. The Braves have gotten a lot of easy hits through the infield on the ground. Nothing too powerful, but they're still getting hits regardless, as Caratini will try to back pick, but Cantillo gets another strikeout for his 4th of the day. So he's cooking. If he could just keep those hits down, I think we'll be pretty comfortable through the rest of this game. It's still only on 1-0 ball game, even though the Braves are getting a ton of hits. And as Cantillo gets his 5th strikeout of the day with a very good pitch, you can see the matchup here. Pretty even outside of the hits and runs allowed for the Braves. And there is another one from Arcia. Little blooper into the right field line, right behind the infield. As Harris goes down and gets one and puts it down the line. And he will have a stand-up double here as runners will come to 2nd and 3rd with no outs in the top of the 5th. And they are threatening as Profar takes the batter's box, but that is a rip to second base, but Bertie makes an amazing play on it and gets a line out for the 1st out of the inning. 3-1 count now for Ronald Acuna Jr., and he will take one deep to center field, and that one won't come back as the Braves go up 4-0. The heater missed its spot and goes middle, and Acuna doesn't miss it and takes it for a ride as Cantillo is not able to bounce back with an out as Ozuna will grow through the infield when the shift was on. He goes the other way, and that'll be the day for Cantillo as we pull him in relief. It's not a bad day. Would love to see him do a little bit more. He didn't do terrible. He got a lot of strikeouts, just wasn't able to keep his hits down. But Aaron Bummer comes on, who's had a very, very good season for us, surprisingly. Our bullpen has been exceptional all season long, led by Loaizaga. And as Bummer comes on, he gets a nice strikeout there. And he gets a ground out to end the inning from Riley as we go on to the bottom of the 5th to see if we can get more than our 1 hit today as Springer takes it deep to center field, and that'll be an easy fly out for the center fielder. Arcia is back up today. He has 2 hits already, and he'll take one for a ride, but DeLuca will be there to snag that one to get us back to the bottom half. As you can see here, Chris Sale is already in a Cy Young candidacy. He right between 2 Dodgers. He's had a good season so far. He might go back-to-back and get 2 Cy Youngs as Blanco gets a high bouncer through the infield right between 3rd base and shortstop to get on base as we will send him in running on a slow slider through the zone. And he will be safe on a bad throw. And he'll have his 24th stolen base of the season, which is exactly what we want to see out of Blanco. But Bertie will take a pitch with no attempt on it. Nice fastball by Sale as Rosario will come up and just have a lousy fly out to right field. That'll end the inning. We had a runner in scoring position for the first time today, and just were not able to capitalize. But back up here with Bummer and the nice sweeper on Harris, the bottom right hand corner of the zone. A perfect pitch, but Sale will be relieved. And looking here, you can see the Braves bullpen stats not too hot, so hopefully we can get something going. Down 4-0 here, bottom of the 7th, as Keith takes one for a ride. 110 into foul territory. If he could keep that timing just a little bit better, and he'll get this one into the air on that sinker, but that'll be a shallow fly out. Looked like it had a lot more pop than what it showed there, and that will be the end of the 7th as Riley comes up and gets one off of Bummer for the first runner of the inning. 1 out here against Olsen, and the high heat will sit him down. Another strikeout by Bummer, his 3rd of the evening, and only 2 and so innings. But we will sit him down for the other Aaron Ashby on to try to get us through to the 9th inning here. 2 outs, top of the 8th, as Murphy will send one right through that 1st and 2nd base gap. Once again, man, the Braves have just put a lot on the ground, but just not finding a glove. Sneaking through the infield, it looks like it has eyes as Arcia takes one for a ride for his almost 3rd hit of the day, but it will find foul territory to keep us from allowing another hit. A nice pitch by Ashby, but it will sneak right over the 3rd baseman's glove, and there's no play at the plate as they score their 5th run of the evening. And Ashby bounced back in a perfect play, an amazing play up there by our pitcher to put it out of the inning as we bring on Joe Kelly in the top of the 9th. Can we get it done? And that is a deep rada from Acuna, and it'll bounce off the top of the wall, and he should have a double here. But a good relay throw closer play than we thought. That could have been his second homer of the day, but it just barely misses it. But an amazing reaction by Rosario over there at the hot corner to get the second out of the inning. But it doesn't matter, as Albies will take this one for a ride on that high fastball at 99. He takes it 359 to right field for his 22nd of the season. And we are down 7-0. We will get out of this one by a smooth glove over there by Rosario. Thankfully, we're out of this inning after allowing 3 runs from Kelly, our new recent signee in free agency. I thought he was going to have a decent outing, but just wasn't able to keep the power hitting down there. As Rosario comes on to face Neris, and that sinker inside on the hands will get him to pop out. And that will be the end of the game for this one. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get anything going. I said before this game that this could be a big turning point in the season. And it looks like it's gone for the worse. So we'll go ahead and progress a few weeks into the future. Kind of just get to September call-ups and see what we're going to do from there. See if we're going to pick up any players and see how we're going to progress the rest of the season. We might try to get to the end of the year this year, but we'll see how it goes. So after that horrific loss to the Braves, I felt like that was some divine intervention. So we went ahead and simulated to September call-ups. So we are here at the 1st of September, and we're going to call up a few players. We're going to call up 2. We have 2 spots left, and we're going to call up 2 of our top prospects that have been in the organization who we drafted. And the first one is going to be Micah Bell. He's had a very good season so far, even though the wins and losses really don't show it. He's progressing very, very well. He has a B potential, one of our B potential players that we drafted at the beginning of this series. He's been good. I mean, he's got a 3.7 ERA, 119 strikeouts, 132 and a third innings of work. His pitch mix is really good. Got that circle change curveball, has a sweeper slider combo, both of the same velocity. So you should see some swing and misses when he works those together. And then a 95 mile per hour fastball. He doesn't have any MLB service time, so bringing him up for the September call-ups isn't going to do anything with his contract. We may have to offer him. He's already offered $800,000 anyway, so it's not going to increase that next season. So we do feel like he's going to be a good position for us to be in the bullpen for a few games here and there. So he will be our first player that we call up to the MLB for the duration of this season. The next one's going to be another guy that we picked up in the expansion draft at the beginning of the series, and that's Edgar Cuero. We don't really need a guy to be called up. We have 2 catchers already, but Andy Rodriguez fills in at first base sometimes, and Edgar is going to fill in for catcher. He's not been too great, but he is one of our top prospects, and one guy we drafted to be kind of the next man up, and he's going to be pretty good. He's actually had a good couple games. His last 4, he's batting really well. He was 1 for 3, 2 for 4, 1 for 4, and then 1 for 2 in his last 4 games. So I think he's kind of coming around the corner with a 254 average on the season and a 669 OPS. Not the greatest in the world, but he is a catcher. Most catchers don't, bat too terribly well. You do have those stars that do every once in a while, but typically your catchers are going to be more for fielding, position play, and also working with your pitcher. So if the bat's there, it is. If not, the fielding will carry him. He's also a switch batter, which is also very, very good for us. So we're going to go ahead and bring him up as well to the MLB roster for the duration of the season. But as we pull into September 17th, we only have about 2 weeks left on the calendar to play some games. We have pretty much given up on the season at this point. Looking at the standings, we have been eliminated from our division. Obviously, we weren't going to make that any way you cut it. But if you look at the wild card, we're still 6 games back. We haven't been able to make any progress, especially when we're going 4-6 every 10 games or so. So it's not really looking in our favor. But next episode, we will pick up with some of the guys we brought up. We'll take a look at Micah Bell and Edgar Cuero, give them a couple starts, and see how they do towards the tail end of the season. And then we'll move on to the next season, get into the offseason, look at the new offseason free agent signing and stuff like that. And then we'll kind of move into the 2026 season and then progress from there. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you all like. If you all like the video, anything we can change. Check out the community page. I will be posting some stuff on how we're going to improve our players in the offseason. I'll leave it up to you all. I'll let you all know more later on, but go ahead and check that over the next couple days when you're looking at this video so y'all can get some input on the rest of the series. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. And a huge shout out to Chris, our very first premium channel member. Thanks for all your support, man. It's really appreciated.